Okay. I'm titling this one Into the Wayback Machine, Mr. Peabody, which may date me, but if you remember, you probably don't remember, Moose and Squirrel, The Adventures of Rocky, there was a segment with Mr. Peabody and Sherman and Into the Wayback Machine where they went back in time. And yesterday on Facebook, I went back in time. 2 weeks ago, I was at MojoCon, you may remember, which is this conference of Mojo or VJs or whatever you want to call it. And of course now it's really all about iPhones and smartphones, and most of the people we train shoot on iPhones and smartphones, and I'm working on a smartphone here. And you know, I post these things on the VJ World all the time, and I hope you read them. And then one of the postings I put on Storytellers, which is a Facebook page, and I figured these are people who are in the business and they'd be interested in this kind of thing. And the reaction, the vituperative reaction, the hatred, the hostility was absolutely astonishing. I mean, 10 years ago, maybe it's 15 years ago, I got into one of these things on a website called BRoll.net, which was for a professional cameraman. And I could understand why these guys are annoyed, because I was going around training the staffs of local TV stations to shoot their own stuff, which pretty much puts those guys out of business. But I really thought at this point this was kind of a given and kind of accepted that this was an acceptable way of working. The vituperative, the hostility, the hatred that came out of these people was absolutely astonishing. And one cameraman in particular, I know he's a cameraman because the thing on Facebook is you can look at it, some camera in some local station in Texas or something. You can check it out because you check who the person is, not a friend of mine per se. But, you know, he started to ask the same question: what do you do when you tell your students they have to shoot something that requires some big lens somewhere and they're not allowed to get close to it and they're far away? And then he sent me a link to some, you know, mediocre local TV news piece that he'd shot entirely on tripod. And I tried to be nice, because I learned a long time ago there's no point in being hostile with these people, at least when you're communicating with them on Facebook, because God knows it brings out the insanity in everybody. But I can certainly express my own opinions here, because this is my space, and I'll say what I want. This guy was an incompetent idiot, and so trapped in kind of the 1970s in terms of this is professional television, professionalist, and he kept saying to me, what do you tell your students when they have to shoot something that requires a long lens when you're using a phone? Well, I say, get close. And so I looked at this piece of crap that he made. It was all shot on a tripod and all, you know, zoomed in, and a typical 1982 local television news piece. And that's great, because that's where he works, is a 1982 local television news, which is fantastic. But I tried to be nice, and I tried to point out to him, okay, you have the lenses, good for you, you have a long lens, but what you don't have is the ability to go live, to live stream, to edit, to incorporate graphics, to share the thing with the world, all on the phone, all by yourself. You know, I mean, this is nuts. We also got into this discussion about don't look in the lens. You know, do you like this better? Does this seem more personal to you? These people, they may put stuff online, but they don't live in the online world. They've kind of accepted the fact that you can go on the internet, but they're still living in, you know, what I would call local television 1968 or 1972, if I want to be really generous. And to me, this is indicative of why the whole local television news business is dead. I mean, the thing is just dead. You look at the ads on the thing, and I do watch it here, I have to confess, because I'm old. I'm in that demographic, I'm sorry to say. The other day, we went to a museum, and I actually ended up buying a senior citizen ticket, which made me throw up on the spot. But there's nothing you can do about that. But you look at the ads on television news, and it's Depends, and it's Cialis, and God knows what other kind of crap, and pretty soon they're going to be advertising cemeteries and funeral homes, because that's all that's watching these things. And these guys, they don't get it, and they don't want to get it, and you know what? As we say in Yiddish, geh Gesundheit, you should live and be well, go die there in Texas or wherever you are, I couldn't care less. But the future belongs to people who embrace this new technology, and television, video, it's all the same thing. And this thing, these smartphones are absolutely, as far as I'm concerned, the absolute unquestionable future. They shoot, they cut, they do graphics, they do music, they allow you to go live to the rest of the world. It's a new world, but these guys are stuck in a very old and dead world. So, you know what, I say, I can't do that because they take me off Facebook. But for these people, I'm tired of having arguments with them. I'm not going back there anymore. Screw them. They can go live in their crappy local television news, doing their endless pictures on tripods with long lenses, police tape, and I couldn't care less. The future, as far as I'm concerned, is right here. It's with the technology, and it's with you guys. And I should pimp myself here because we're doing this here in New York at the Museum Tower, which is where I am now. Here, take a look at the views out the window. See that? Rockefeller Center, really nice, except now I get backlit, so I'm coming back this way. This month, the 21st to the 24th, we're running a 4-day intensive boot camp. It's actually starting to fill up. We've got a few more spaces. If you want to be part of it, if you want to change your life, if you want to learn how to use these smartphones to create broadcast quality television shows or just completely change your life entirely, sign up, and we're giving big discounts as far as I know, but talk to Brett. Anyway, that's all I got to say for today. Tune in tomorrow, and I'll have more hostility towards these morons. And that's all I got. See you later. Bye.